GFA Federal Credit Union and the Greater Peterborough Chamber of Commerce Education Committee have partnered to provide financial education to ConVal High School students. ConVal Regional High School juniors are learning financial literacy skills throughout the year with specialized curriculum taught by GFA Federal Credit Union. The in-classroom education was organized by Don Jalbert, Director of Applied Technology Center, and Mary Lou O'Neill, School to Work Coordinator, both of ConVal Regional High School. Students will have a chance to apply their in-classroom studies in a real-life setting this spring, as they will speak to auto salespeople, real estate agents, utilities representatives, retail and service businesses, and spin the wheel of reality at a financial education fair arranged by the Education Committee.
So, Mr. Jalbert, what is your role here at this fair?
Okay, so as a member of the Chamber of Commerce Education Committee, we got involved with the GFA. They came to us asking if this would be something we'd be interested in doing with our students. We had seen it last year at Gardner High School. We thought it was a great idea. And for about a year now, we've been planning it, and here it is.
Do you think this is really helping out the students when they leave high school? Do you think that they're going to take away a lot from this?
I think it's crucial that the students understand that the money doesn't grow on trees. Mom and Dad don't have an endless supply, in the drawer in the bedroom. So understanding that the dollars are finite, there are certain expenses that have to be paid every month, and seeing where you come out at the end of the month, I think it's an important skill to think about.
So my role is to walk around and make sure the students are guided, make sure that any of the volunteers have questions, and really just to support the organization and the activities for today. It's exciting to see the students walking around and trying to figure out what does it really cost to live, how much money do I need for housing, do I have any money left over for entertainment. So it's just a lot of fun to see life develop for them, unfold as they go through the different tables. We've been talking about the benefits of renting with a roommate as opposed to going out and buying a home for a starter. Understanding that there's different choices when you're looking at an apartment. If you're looking at an apartment that's close to public transportation or close to activities in the community, then you don't necessarily need to go out and buy a car. The advantages and disadvantages of renting with someone else. Sometimes it's hard to be with someone non-stop, and just all of the additional expenses that go with. It's not just the rent, it's the utilities and the heat, and do you rent an apartment that has heat included? So just understanding what does it really cost to live. Just heard a student walk by and say, I don't have enough money, and that's the reality of life. And especially when they go to the reality wheel, and so they'll spin the wheel and perhaps they'll have a good fortune from the wheel, which happens to us in real life from time to time. But more often than not, there's the unexpected expense. So they may spin the reality wheel and they may find that they've got a problem with their car. And so an unexpected expense of, a few $100s may come up that they didn't plan for, which is why when you look at the worksheet, we ask you to take your pay and immediately put some of that pay in a savings account, because there is going to be unexpected expenses, and it's nice to have that money set aside for those events.
The Giant Dice are your chance to earn some free scholarship money, so it's important to fill out your scholarship forms and lower your monthly student loan payments. The student loans, the kids are coming over, and whether or not they've gone to school for 2, 4, 6, or 8 years, they have student loan payments per month. So we have them roll the dice to see if they can earn some free scholarship money to lower their monthly payment.
What have you guys learned today at the fair?
I've learned that there's a lot more steps to getting your life together than I thought.
And you spend a lot more in expenses than you think you will in the long run.
You guys think you're going to take away a lot from this fair?
Definitely.
Probably, yeah.
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope to learn about budgeting so I can live a happier life.
Okay, very nice. Have you been to any of the booths so far?
Yeah, I've been to the car one. Bought a new Jetta.
What did they talk about there? What have you learned about cars?
They talked about what car you'd likely to be afford on your salary, and which would best fit your lifestyle, gas mileage, stuff like that.
The reality is that you go through and you've got your budget all set, and then you'd come over here and you'd spin this, and wherever it lands, so you become unemployed. So now you'd have to go back over to the employment table and try and get a new job. So if you had a job where you had specific training, it might be easier for you to be re-employed quickly. And if you have a job that's sort of more open-ended and doesn't have specific training, then it's going to be harder for you to become re-employed.
Okay.
But so you might not get that. You might have car repairs. It's just it's like reality. So in a month, you might have a $300 car bill. It just comes up out of nowhere.
Is there anything positive on there?
There's this guy. He won $50 in a raffle. There's a bonus. Then there's a speeding ticket. So there are some.
Would you like to tell me a little bit about your booth?
Yeah, this is the food booth, and they have 5 options. So if someone's going to the military, it's only $39 a month because the military pays for all the food. For someone on a lower budget, they're going to go to the grocery store, cook their own food, and if they have roommates, it's only $225. If they have a high-paying job, they can afford to eat out at work, go out to lunch at midday, go out to dinner a lot. It's twice as expensive. $435, and then a couple options in between. So they have to make some choices based on how much they're going to earn in their job, whether they like to cook or not, whether they like to go out for entertainment, and what they can afford.
Okay, so this isn't like a grocery store. It's just sort of like food, like all food in general, right?
It's a monthly total of groceries and restaurant costs.
Okay, very cool. It seems to be pretty popular. What do most kids seem to fall under here?
Well, I would say that most kids are being conservative and starting with the lower price plan. Some have high-paying jobs and they already know they can afford it, but I would say most are down in this arena. Some good choices, smart choices.
I've realized that I can't always have the nicest car or the nicest house. I still have the nicest house, but I did have to cut back on the car, and I had to cut back on my cell phone. What about you, Mercedes?
Well, we decided to room together because we figured out that it would be cheaper for us to be together instead of alone, so that's how we were saving money.
Okay. Now, I understand that you've gone through the whole program so far. What specific things do you think you'll take away from this experience, like what you've learned?
I think like just learning how to budget money better and like making better fiscal decisions.
Yeah, I agree with Malik. Like it puts you in reality and like lets you know how much it's not.
It's really cool to experience all the things that you're gonna have to be paying for when you actually grow up and live out in the world. Like there's a lot more expenses than I thought.
All right, you guys having fun?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's actually, yeah, I was like kind of like, but then I got here and it was easier than I thought, so.
Okay, cool.
Well, I lost my job, so I learned that it's kind of like, it did really feel like actual real life, so I kind of learned a lot that like all of your expenses, like there is a lot that you have to pay for, and then when you lose your job, you gotta like, makes you kind of like freak out a little bit, and then you got to figure everything else out again. So.
Did you get a new job, or is?
Yeah, I went over and they didn't tell me what I got, but I still ended up doing pretty well. So I went from being a doctor to something else. So.
All right. What do you think you'll take away from this whole experience?
Probably definitely learn that expenses, like you need to like actually set a budget for yourself so you can do well.